Good morning, everyone. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we are. We're getting ready. I have many things to do here. Oh my gosh. It's a beautiful sunny day, and it's so tempting to run out in the garden and do things, and I totally forgot something else. Always forgetting something. Oh my gosh, but there's so many things to do. So I'm going to try and, hi, hey Terry, good morning. I'm going to try and move through this fairly quickly because I want to get out in the sunshine. Oh my gosh, there's been a few days of sun now since, I don't know, since Christmas, but not that many. So it's so tempting to get out there, and I have to, good morning, Jane, nice to see you. I'm just opening cans of diced tomatoes because what I'm going to do today is make a spaghetti sauce. And I know that's probably like totally boring for most people, and you know, everybody knows how to do that. But everyone on the Facebook Live says to just keep doing what I do, and as long as I talk about interesting things while I'm making not interesting foods, then it's still fun and it's all good, because the Facebook Live is really just about sharing recipes, talking about healthy food and other healthy things, and having a really positive, fun experience while we work with different foods, because I do use different foods than other people, that's for sure. If you've seen the Facebook Live, I generally will be incorporating things that are a little more unusual, not your typical recipes. I know I love spaghetti sauce too, but I'll tell you who makes the very best spaghetti sauce. And I mean, you know, I don't use meat, so that's probably part of the thing which just twigged me into what I have in the Instant Pot that we're going to be using, so I will have to run over and grab that, is my sister-in-law. She makes the most amazing spaghetti sauce ever, and I don't know what's in it, and I'm not going to ask, but it's really good. So this is obviously going to be a plant-based spaghetti sauce, and so a couple different things here. I have just hot water heating up. You know, I have to say, with the sunshine out and everything, and going out in the garden to see, you know, what's going on, and I told everybody, you know, that I had my beautiful carrots, not this last year, but the previous winter. I left the carrots in the ground until March, and they were beautiful and fine and wonderful, and this time I left them in, and somebody is eating my stuff. And I think it's a rat. Why there would be or some kind of wild little animal that is going along and eating all my carrots and all my stuff. And look at what he did. Look at what he did to my collards. Oh, I'm so mad. And you know, just chopped it off right at the stem. Like, just chopped it off. I mean, luckily he left me the top of the collard, but if he eats down into the stem and the, you know, the core of the collard, it's going to kill it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, seriously, I've been trying to be nice. I fed this thing and allowed it to eat all my carrots. It's eaten half of my Jerusalem artichokes, but this is the limit. I mean, honestly, there has got to be something that needs to be stopped, because look at how beautiful my collard is. And it's gone. And now, I mean, now I have to eat it, which is awesome, but I would like more off that plant. So I'm not too happy about that. And I learned a thing, another thing. Hey, Christine, hi. Oh God. Well, I have an 8-foot fence around my garden to keep the deer out. And I have a welded wire mesh that has little tiny holes all the way around the bottom to keep the slugs out. And now there's some kind of little animal, and I think it's some kind of a rat. Why it would be here, I have no idea. We don't have chickens or anything like that. But he's obviously going over the fence and eating my stuff. It's so frustrating when he works so hard. I didn't mind when he ate half the carrots because he only ate the top half, and then I dug them out and I cut off where he had chewed. And I ate the bottom half, and I'm like, okay, fair is fair. But that's the limit. So anyway, that's my rant for this morning. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start with some onions here. We're going to add some different things to the spaghetti sauce. And have these beautiful, huge onions that I'm so happy with. I bought them actually in the fall from the, there's just a great market. I don't know if it's still open or not, but it's a market in Duncan. If you're on Vancouver Island, it's kind of outside Duncan actually, and it's like a, I don't know what it's called. It's like a farmer's market. If you're coming from Victoria, it's on the right. If you're heading to Victoria, it's on the left. And they had the most amazing produce this summer and fall. And I bought this like 20, I don't know, 25, 30 pound bag of onions. I don't know how big it is, but it was just a really great deal. And I'll just put my little skins over here. I have such a tiny little workspace here, but it's the best I can do for the space I have for filming. So that's what we work with, what we have. We do, we work with, if we can't, there's a saying, and I put it on my Facebook, and it's a, something about doing what you can with what you have or something. Anyway, it's a song, a fairly new song, I believe, from Bon Jovi, and it's a really good saying, and it's all about the times that we're in right now, and doing what we can. You know, if you can't do what you do, I think that's what it is. If you can't do what you do what you can. Pretty sure that is the gist of it, and I think that might even be the name of it. Okay, so just cutting up this beautiful onion here, and I'm still I still can't find my large cutting board, and I should just go back to using my old wooden ones, but they were getting pretty stained from all the beets and things. And so so I bought these new, I don't know what they're made of, some kind of food grade something or other cutting boards, because they won't stain, you know, and I do a lot of work with beets and portobellos, and the portobellos also stain as well. So I bought these cutting boards, and I bought a bigger one, and for the life of me, I must have been doing some kind of project, as I throw the onions all over the place. I must have been doing some kind of project, and I don't know where I put that cutting board. Okay, so we're going to try and keep all these onions on this little dinky cutting board. And I'm going to go and get because I forgot, I'm going to go get the other ingredient in the Instant Pot. Okay, so I do love my Instant Pot, and I'm going to have to, unfortunately, take a minute to try and drain this, so you guys can watch the onions cook while I'm doing this. Okay. I always manage to forget something. These are the barley. Sometimes I just forget. Oh my gosh. Oh, my glasses are falling. This is the purple barley, and this is like just the most amazing stuff. It is from Wayne Smith's Vancouver Island Grain and Milling. And I bought like a 25-pound bag of this. You can get it in smaller bags at Healthy Habits as well. And this is the purple barley, and it has way more antioxidants than in, of course, pearl barley, right? You know, because it's not processed. And so it has way more antioxidants, and it's just a really full of vitamins and minerals and amazing. So I did this in the Instant Pot this morning, and this is going to be like instead of the typical hamburger that you would find in the spaghetti sauce. So so we're going to use this, but we're not going to quite use it yet. We're going to use it in a minute. Because I'd like to get the onions just a little bit caramelized. So I'm going to try and create space, my little tiny spot here, and just set those guys there. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, I get so easily distracted. Okay, so we have the onions here. We're going to add some carrots. My little carrots are getting a little... these guys are getting a little weathered, so we'll just trim the ends off, my nice organic carrots. And I'm going to get these guys in. However you want to cut the carrots, you know, if you want to use a food processor or whatever. And of course, you for anyone who's new, your onions are anti-inflammatory, so it's super important to incorporate onions into anything that you can, as much as you can. And if you can, with the, if you can, you know, even raw, it's really helpful because they're antihistamine when they're raw, and I can tell that right now with this particular one has the, I can't remember what the gas is called. Is it like a sulfur gas? But whatever it is that makes your eyes water and your nose run when you cut an onion. So this one is actually quite strong. And so they're anti-inflammatory for the whole body. They are antihistamine. And then your carrots, of course, everybody knows they have beta carotene, good for the eyes, all that stuff. And so we're going to add celery, which is really, really awesomely good for, I mean, honestly, if you have any, I should cut these ends off. If you have any arthritic conditions at all, or any kind of pain, joint pain, that kind of thing, the celery is so amazing because it has a natural source of sodium, kind of like, you know, how your tears are salty. It's a natural source of natural sodium. It's not like salt at all. It's like how your tears are salty. It's that natural sodium, almost like you know, think of it as like your clear lymphatic fluid. It really has a lot of natural sodium that goes into neutralizing the acids and in the body. And the acid, it's always an acid that creates inflammation and pain, right? It's always an acidic environment that creates inflammation and pain. And so the more we can alkalinize our bodies, the less pain and inflammation we're going to have. And I'm not talking about the blood where, you know, the blood holds its own pH balance, and so you're not doing anything with the blood as far as alkalizing whatever. Your blood's going to maintain its own homeostasis and that kind of thing. But in the tissues is where we tend to have so much acid, and that's creating the inflammation for most people. Because we do, who's hiding under here making me all lopsided? We do so many, we ingest and are around so many acidic things, right? Anybody drinks coffee is acid. Anything that isn't a fruit or vegetable is acidic to some degree. Oh, I'm throwing celery absolutely everywhere. Yeah. So your green things are the most alkalizing. So your deep leafy greens, anything with chlorophyll, all your fruits and vegetables are very alkaline. And then it gradually goes up to, like your grains are a little bit more acidic, going up to the point where like your meats are super acidic. Of course, anything like soda pop or Coke or any of that is like super duper acidic, as well as the coffee and that kind of thing. So you want to, if you're going to enjoy acidic things, which, you know, most of us do like to enjoy acidic things, at some point, whether it's coffee or hopefully not soda, because like seriously, between the acid and the sugar, it's just so bad. But anything like even anything processed is going to be acidic, right? So, oh yeah, if you can't do what you do what you can. That is so awesome. I put it on my Facebook, and I'll tell you about that story with the John Bon Jovi song. It's very, I can't talk today for some reason. It's very empowering and uplifting. And I heard about it through, I'm so honored to say, I heard about it through a program that I've been accepted to in Royal Roads University. And so this program, I was accepted into it, and it's yeah, really an honor that they are allowing me to take this course on leading change in a digital environment. And so, so it's all about that, right? Working through these changes and being able to, you know, to recognize areas that can be changed and areas that that you can work with or work through. And it's, I'm really excited about the program. It's an 8-week course of working with this, you know, all these changes. And so they had, and I think it's still ongoing. I think they are still accepting applications for businesses that have been affected by COVID. The other phone's ringing, that's okay. But businesses that have been affected by COVID, they're accepting applications, so you can apply to get this course free. And it's run by the government and at Royal Roads University. And so, yeah, so I'm super honored to be able to do that. And that is one of the things that they are working with. And now I have a tickle in my throat. I'm drinking tea with a little bit of cedar in it. It's really good for the respiratory system, has vitamin C. It's like a little tonic that you can drink some cedar needle tea every once in a while. It is quite strong, so you don't want to drink a lot of it. Like, you don't want to drink it 2 or 3 times a week. But, you know, every now and then, through the winter especially, is really beneficial. So I find it very refreshing, and it's kind of eucalyptusy and lemony and cedary. Okay, so yeah, so I'm really excited about this program and what I'm going to learn. So I do have to say, I will be cutting the Facebook Live down to not every day, because I have to be in the class virtually, like on the virtual live class. So over Zoom on the computer, but I have to be there. So I'm not sure at this point, but I do know for sure that I'll be in class Mondays and Tuesdays. So I'm hoping to be here on Facebook Live Wednesday through Friday, but it depends on, there are obviously additional hours besides not just 2 days a week. So I'm not really sure how that schedule is going to work out. So we'll see, but I'm very excited to be able to do this. So I'm adding to the spaghetti sauce some bok choy too. The bok choy has, so good for you. I think people don't notice it as much, like they just ignore the bok choy, and it's a good, reasonably priced vegetable, especially for in the winter. And I use it as a salad green. I put it in salads, I put it in pretty much everything, and you can use it almost instead of celery as far as the crunch and the taste that you're looking for if you're putting celery into something. And sometimes celery is like, you know, $6 for a little bunch. So the bok choy is much cheaper, and it has similar texture and flavor. Pretty similar, you know, really. And so it's got iron in it. It has vitamin K. You know, of course, most of your green vegetables, and especially your brassicas, like your kale and Brussels sprouts and cabbage and all that kind of stuff, has vitamin K. in it as well. So the bok choy has the vitamin K and what else? Antioxidant, of course, fiber. So we're going to add some garlic too. Everybody, you guys should all be eating tons of garlic right now. You want to keep your immune system strong. And so garlic is antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. It's just absolutely the thing. And in spaghetti sauce there is, you have to add a lot because it just adds so much flavor and goodness to the spaghetti sauce. I'm going to use this one here because I kind of crushed it already. So we're going to add the garlic. You know, if you tend to find anything coming on, just eat some raw garlic. It'll fix you right up. Okay, I'm going to actually add, this isn't looking much like spaghetti sauce so far, is it? I'm going to add the ends. These are actually what I call them. I call them, I'm going to turn it like this so I don't cut myself, the hearts of the broccoli. So these are broccoli hearts, the middle of the broccoli, and if you just take off the outer stems, I could actually be doing a bit better job. The outer peel, I should say. The middle of it is so tender and yummy and soft, and so this is a great thing to add to your soups and sauces and salads, or just raw. Just eat it raw, you know, like you would with veggies and dip, and you don't even need any dip. It's just super, you know, you don't want to waste it. Like, I don't buy just the broccoli crowns, you know, just the broccoli heads. I like to buy the whole thing and use the hearts because it's just, you know, that much more flavor, and it's a little bit different concentration. I'm going to even add a little bit of turnip here. I have this turnip. I've been kind of slicing it off and putting it in a few different things, and I shredded it in the salad that we made the other day on Facebook. Just going to trim this off, put some turnip in for a little bit of additional flavor. And goodness me, that turnip is really good. Okay, so we're gonna do this. You know, I do, because of my own health sensitivities over the years. I had a terrible upbringing as far as food when I was a kid. It was very much early 60s with Tang, Carnation Instant Breakfast. Cheese Whiz was all the popularity back then, and Captain Crunch. So since then, I've been trying to reverse the effects of my childhood eating habits, and what affected me was eating meat a lot, and that started me on the whole movement of the plant-based back in 1990. So the reason I'm leading into this is your alternatives. If you want to make this a plant-based spaghetti sauce, I have the beautiful. This is so good because the barley is chewy, just like hamburger, right? Hamburger to me always tasted like little bits of rubber, and so this is an actually better consistency than little bits of rubber, and I mean, not to put anything down, you know, to each his own, but it doesn't work for me. The meat thing just does not work, and ethically, it's, you know, plant-based is just a way better idea for the animals, for the planet, for your body, for everything. Anyway, you can add these guys. And you can add, I have here soaking, I don't know if you can see that, but I didn't think about it. I wasn't going to use these in the spaghetti sauce, but I have before, but I'm going to do something else with them. This is just kidney beans soaking, and so when you soak your beans, and the grains too, like beans and grains have lectins, And I have a whole nother video on the lectins and how they work. And the lectins are basically the reason that everybody knows that you're supposed to soak and rinse your beans before you cook them is to release the gas and the bloating and discomfort and intestinal discomfort and everything from legumes and beans and certain grains and things too. But there's lectins in some of the fruit and some of the fruits and vegetables too, mostly vegetables like tomatoes and peppers and things have lectins. If you're that sensitive, you really need to work with healing your digestion, not just staying away from lectins. But that's a whole nother video and that's a whole nother discussion. So for our purposes here, the reason that you soak and rinse your beans is to remove the lectins to improve the ease of digestibility. I'll just leave it at that. And so I am soaking these beans. Didn't really think about it because I wasn't going to put it in the spaghetti sauce, but you could. If that's the point I was trying to get to, was this would be another meat substitute for your spaghetti sauce, and I've used beans in them before. And especially if you overcook them to where they mush a bit, it gives a nice thickening to the spaghetti sauce and gives you that texture too, you know, little bit of that chewy texture that most people are looking for. So here I'm just getting this to where, you know, I want these flavors to meld with the garlic and the onion. I'm going to add a few of the, which I forgot to do, but it's okay because we'll just cook it a little longer. I'm going to add just a bit more water because what I want to add are my beautiful mushrooms. So I do have a few here that I cut up and washed yesterday, which I probably shouldn't have. It's too soon. It was too soon, but I knew I was going to have a busy morning. Anyway, these guys are just little button mushrooms. I'm going to take the stems out. I forgot a couple stems. Washed and sliced, but what you can do, what I'm going to do is add my beautiful, set that there and hope it doesn't go flying, my Shiitake mushrooms, which are really good for the immune system. These guys are Maitake, I think it's M-A-I-T-A-K-E. These balance hormones, they balance blood sugar, they're antiviral. Nearly all of the edible medicinal mushrooms are antiviral. Super great for the immune system, and so when I get these in the fluid, they're going to puff right up like regular mushrooms. I'm going to add actually some oyster mushrooms that we were blessed to pick last summer, spring and summer. And I see some coming now, fall oyster mushrooms. So get out there and have a look around. They're usually on old dying maples, and they're oyster mushrooms, and they are so super awesome. They are a detox. They're antioxidant, and they detox your cells. So they will help to remove toxins and any kind of toxicity, like we're all exposed to different, you know, things that chemicals that we come into contact with, and like smells and pollution and dust and dirt and all that stuff. So they really help to clean and clear the body of all that. Very good for the immune system. These guys here, I have a few. I'm not very lucky in finding chanterelles. I just don't know why, but I'm not. So I bought these chanterelles at the farmer's market this summer, and I'm really, of course, everybody knows and loves chanterelles as well. So these are dried chanterelles. I dried them myself in the dehydrator, and then I was lucky enough to actually have on our own property, as well as the oyster mushrooms, some lobster mushrooms. And these guys are super awesome too. They're just so, you know, like anything, right? Good for the immune system. And they're just to add that chewy mushroom flavor. And the other one that I wanted to grab here is my favorite, which is the shiitake mushrooms. Shiitakes, of course, again, good for the immune system. The shiitakes, I should put them in something else. always scared to like throw the thing all over the place. The shiitakes are antiviral, super antiviral. These are so good for your immune system, so good against viruses and protecting you from viruses. They also lower cholesterol. They've been used for anti-aging. Obviously, I haven't had enough. And anti-aging, let me think about this. Oh gosh. Cholesterol, what did I say? Cholesterol, anti-aging, immune system, viral. They're so, so good. I do find that when they're dried, they're a little bit rubbery, which is a good thing for when in spaghetti. But I find the stems are a little tougher. And so I save the stems to put them in tea because I find them just a little too tough and rubbery to add into the dishes because the stems are super, super chewy. But they have a great flavor, amazing for you, so super healthy. Okay, get the lid on there. So, okay, so we have a spaghetti sauce. We did do garlic. We're going to do extra garlic. Okay, because you just, in my mind, you can't have too much garlic in spaghetti sauce. I'm going to add a little bit of paprika here. This is like just a regular sweet paprika. And just, I don't know, that would be, it's like a third of a tablespoon, so I think that's like a teaspoon of paprika. Okay, so the other thing, I am going to add some coriander because it's just super awesome, and I shouldn't do that. You should never really put your spices over your steam because it'll get dampness into your spices. I'm going to add some chili peppers as well. Of course, you're going to want chili peppers and cayenne and probably quite a bit into your spaghetti sauce. Get that nice and spicy. I'm going to actually even add the cayenne itself to the spaghetti sauce to make it even spicier. So your cayenne's really good for circulation. It's really, cayenne is so good. You can put some in hot water. Make sure it's fresh though. Make sure your cayenne is not like, been sitting in your spice cupboard for 4 or 5 years. But if you put it in hot water, it'll really help with headaches. Migraines, because it opens up the circulation to the head, so it relieves that tension in the head. Migraines, it can help improve your memory, obviously, because it's opening up the blood vessels to the brain and the head, assisting in circulation overall, hands and feet. Cayenne is just so totally amazingly awesome. The other thing I'm going to add is a little bit of the dulse seaweed, because this has it has so many trace minerals that you wouldn't find in anything else other than seaweed. It's just so, so good for you with the trace minerals. It's got natural source of iodine, which is really good for your balancing your thyroid. The iodine and the seaweed is really good against radiation. It actually reverses the effects of the radiation, which is why they used it in the all of the nuclear accidents in wherever they happened in Japan and all that. They used seaweed to help the people through the radiation. The other thing I heard that they used, I can't remember if this was in Poland or where else they had radiation issues. I think they used sunflower seeds. I can't quite remember that. I ran across that article. I can't quite remember the details. But anyway, it's awesome because to know that you can use, especially the seaweeds, I know that for sure, is really good against radiation because we're also exposed with the cell phones, the computers, and all that kind of thing. So make sure you incorporate some seaweed into your diet. It has all the trace minerals as well as being super, super healthy for you. So I'm going to add some Celtic sea salt here too. And so the Celtic sea salt also has lots of minerals in it. And it's not as salty as Himalayan salt, like tasting. So so you can add more of it to that. And it has the trace minerals. Okay, I'm just trying to think. If you wanted to And I could, I suppose, add some turmeric to it. For the turmeric has the curcumin. Of course, turmeric turns everything yellow, yellowy orange. So I don't really want yellowy orange spaghetti sauce, but on the other hand, I'm going to add tomatoes, and so I don't think the yellow would show. Do you think the yellow would show? And even if it did, would anybody care? Because the benefits of the turmeric with the curcumin is just so super valuable. Oh, here's the other thing. I have some dried peppers. These are red bell peppers that I dried this summer. So I'm gonna put these in here. And so if you don't have fresh peppers, you can dehydrate them, and then you have them on hand at any time to add to anything. These are great addition. Because I don't seem to have a real live fresh bell pepper on me right now. Okay, we need to add a little more water. This is starting to stick. And I am going to, I bought these cans. These guys are on sale at Quality Foods, in case you didn't know, diced tomatoes. I accidentally got the wrong ones, but I'm just gonna give them really good energy and take away anything bad that might be in there. It's not too bad. It's just it's herb and spices, garlic and stuff. Probably be just fine. Anyways, so I've got these guys, and I don't want the I was in a hurry last night, and I just grabbed what was on the end of the aisle, and this is the diced ones. And so I don't really want big chunks of tomatoes in the sauce. So I'm gonna grind them down a little bit. Here's the part where I start to really bore you guys. Okay, let's see. Let's get this in here. I guess I could add a little bit more of the actual tomato. So I'm just grinding these down. You know, I should have actually bought tomato sauce, but you know what? There's that song again. You just make do with what you have. And this is what I'm doing. So just get my little thing happening here. And this is where you, it doesn't, see, you could use this as a stir fry. This would be amazing. You know, you could put, I'm always thinking of different recipes when I'm halfway into a recipe. I'm like, wow, this would be really good if you added coconut milk and some Thai spices, or you could add some chickpeas, and you could add some Indian spices, and you could do all kinds of things with this stir fry. I mean, it's got a lot of celery in it, but you still could do lots with it. Okay, so we're just gonna pour that in and keep going. Whoops, I'm making a mess. But that's kind of what it's all about. Okay, whoops, get that in there. All right, so, okay, I'm just thinking. The other thing that a lot of people use and do, which I'm sure, you know, I'm sure that you guys know this. I'm just going to try and drain this water off of it. So if I get a few chunks, that's okay. The other thing that a lot of people use is sugar. I had to think of it. And so if you're going to do that, and I know I just have heard that a lot of people put sugar in their spaghetti sauce, you can do something natural, right? You can do maple syrup is really, really good. You can do coconut sugar, which is really, really good. So maple syrup has its own medicinal benefits, which are super awesome. But if you do coconut sugar, it has a lower glycemic index, and so so it's better for you than any other regular kind of sugar, depending. You can use monk fruit, which is a fruit. So if you have someone with diabetic concerns and someone that can't have sugar, you can use monk fruit. That's M-O-N-K, and then fruit, obviously. And so monk fruit would be a good suggestion too. So there are lots of alternatives to, you know, to adding sugar. And I do think it does make a difference. For myself, I like the coconut sugar because it has a caramely kind of a flavor. So it's quite earthy. I mean, you know, as far as caramel goes, but it's got that earthy, almost kind of brown sugary flavor, but way milder. And so I really like the coconut sugar for the spaghetti sauce. I find it adds kind of that depth to it that you really want. And see, now it's starting to look like spaghetti sauce. Okay, let's get this other can in here. Oh my gosh. And then of course, you know, the other thing that's typically added, which I totally forgot, I might do it after. I probably will do it after because I'm going to have to. Oh, which reminds me, I'll show you. I get distracted so easy. Is tomato paste, right? Typically you're going to use tomato paste to thicken it up. And so you can use that, and which I'm going to show you again what I showed you the other day, just in case for the people that didn't see it, because I think it's like super cool. And so, oh my God, okay. So, so you would add your tomato paste to this, right? And then whatever else, you know, whatever else turns you on. But I'm going to add, because this is quite a bit, am going to add a couple cans of tomato paste to it. But this is what I bought the other day. I found it online. I thought it was super cool. And it's tomato paste in a tube. And this is put out by Whole Foods. It's a product of Italy. And it's got non-BPA lining. And it's just tomatoes and salt. And so if you're making something and you just need like a tablespoon of tomato paste, which I've done many times, open up the little can, you know, use a part of it or half of it, and then you stick it in the fridge and, you know, wait for it to go bad. And so this is super awesome because if you just need a tablespoon or so, you push it out like toothpaste, put the lid on, and it'll last like forever, and you're not wasting the other half of the can of tomato paste. Of course, in this instance, I do need a whole can. In fact, I think I need 2 cans, maybe even 3 cans. So I will be using the actual cans instead of the little tube. But I thought that was super awesome to run across, and I thought it was really neat. I got it on Amazon as an add-on item, and so it was only like $3. It was like super crazy cheap. Okay, so this is looking really good. Whatever you want to do, you know, I might add some extra mushrooms, like now that I've got things mixed with the tomatoes, add some extra mushrooms to it. If you wanted to, you could add the beans. You could add pretty much whatever you want. Things I have added are like dry mustard. You could add that. You could add a little bit of cinnamon. In fact, I think I will add a little bit of cinnamon. Just, you know, not much, just enough to kind of, you know, get that other little enhanced flavor of something different. I'm always after something different. And so, let's see here. You could add ginger. I don't know. Oh, the sprouts are coming along. The little sprouts that we put in the jar. The radish sprouts are coming along. And the bean sprouts are coming along. And sauerkraut's coming along. And then this is a little bit of pepper grass to put in the salad. So pepper grass is out there. It's really spicy and good. It's almost like a little mini arugula. So get some pepper grass and stick it in your salad. Anyway, that's it. So we will catch you tomorrow. I've run way over time. Have a really great day. Get out in the sunshine. We'll see you tomorrow at 11. Have a good day.